Welcome to this very special edition of the KAJ Masterclass Live, the show which ensures that you profit from your time spent here with experts, either through their industry insights, information, or simply learning from them. And today we have Shareatha Coleman. She is an author and inspires readers to overcome challenges and embrace their true selves. Welcome to the show, Shareatha.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
You are welcome to the show. You are welcome to India in this online form. And I'm sure not just in India, but a lot of people will benefit from what we are going to talk about. We'll be talking about overcoming challenges and embracing our true self. So, my first question to you, Sarita, is to understand itself. Why are we not able to be our true self? Where does it? Who stops us? Why do they stop us? And why do we stop ourselves?
um, that's a lot. I think that when you want to fit in, you um you end up not being yourself, and you end up being what your friends and family want you to be. And so I had a lot of issues with that. I always felt different from my family because I knew I was different. And they were choosing to do things that I thought was um not good, and I chose to go a different route. And when you choose to do that, people look down on you even when they're doing negative things.
Okay, okay. So then, how is it that when people force you or circumstances force you, society forces you in whatever way it is, then how is it that once you have to listen and suddenly you start not listening to them? How do you break that shackle of living somebody else's life or living someone else beyond what you are?
You just get tired. You get tired of being everybody else. You get tired of people's stuff. You just get tired. And so you just start choosing a different way of life. Like for me, I just knew that I wanted a future for me and my kids. Um and I wanted to be able to take care of them, and for us to be okay, and so I was going to do whatever I had to do that. And in that, I struggled with my mental illness, and I had to deal with that too, and go to counseling and do what the doctors told me to do, because I wanted to succeed at being a good parent, and getting the income that I needed to take care of my kids. And so within all that, I didn't care what anybody else had to say. I was like, I got to do what I got to do for my family and me.
Right, right. You are an author, Sarita. Beyond the being the author, how should uh, the audience understand who is Sharitha Coleman? What is it? How is she? What is she beyond being an author?
Well, I'm a mother of three. I have four grandchildren. I work on my spiritual well-being. It is very important to me. I will do anything to make sure that I feel clean inside, and that I don't do anything to hurt people, or to try to get over people, because it makes me feel dirty. And so that's pretty much who I am.
Absolutely, absolutely. That is what important is to be yourself, and that is where
Yep.
you have written a book. If I understand, If you have written more books, do let me know. But about your book, get your mind right. What
Yeah.
is the book about? I like the title of this book, and you are focusing on the girl. Is it only for girls? Help us understand what this book is all about. When did you decide to write this book? Why did you write this book and not any other book?
Well, the book is about my life, and it's about me having to get my mind right and deal with my mental illness. And so the title came from me telling my cousin who has a mental illness that she needed to get her mind right. And she used to call me for advice, and I'd be like, "Girl, you got to get your mind right first before you can tackle all these goals that you have. If you're not going to counseling and doing what the doctors tell you to do, and then you're wondering why you're failing at things in your life, maybe you need to get your mind right." And so that's where the title came from. And so my book is my about me being a child of a parent who was a drug addict, and she was a drug addict most of my life, and my and having a father who was there, but he chose to work 3 jobs and let my stepmom take care of us when we went to go visit him. And then I ended up and so when I was 14, I had a child, and I had postpartum depression. And when I and then I wanted to commit suicide. So then I ended up going to the hospital, and for 2 weeks, and then ended up feeling better. So after that, I had another child, and then I believe I had postpartum after that one too, and then I had to deal with my depression once I got to college. And so after I was in college, I um I was raising my children, going to school and working, and I just was struggling with my mental health. And so in that moment, I had to get my mind right. So so that's where that came from.
Right, right. What have you dealt in this? Who is this book for? Is it someone who is, say, 15 or 20 years old? Is it for someone who is older than that? What do they learn out of this? You talk about, challenges and embracing, overcoming challenges and embracing their true selves. How help us understand through this book?
So the book is for women aged probably high school through about 40. And because I feel like that's when I really struggled the most, was in between that time. Anybody can read it, but it's more geared towards women and trying to, you know, get yourself together so that you can show up better. Because I was thinking more about mothers, and how if we are trying to be good parents, then we can't be, you know, um struggling all the time with, our mental illnesses, or, and we have to accept that this is the issue, and so that, we can parent better, because that was the issue with, like, my mom. Like, she has a mental illness, and she chose not to deal with it, and so she self-medicated with drugs, and then she showed up as a parent that where her kids had a traumatic childhood. And so that was mainly my goal for that. And so within that, I had to get over a lot of challenges, because I come from a dysfunctional family. And so, when you have a dysfunctional family, you have a lot of dysfunctional ways. And so, and so you have to, reprogram yourself because, you're like, oh, this is the easy way. And it's not. You need to go the hard way. And so I just chose the hard way every time. Like, I just chose that, if I couldn't get help, then I was okay with that. Or if, I chose me, I chose to to be who I was. I chose to do the right thing, and I realize it's hard for a lot of people to do. And and so I overcame my challenges because I was determined to overcome them. And because I was like, it has to be better than this. It has to be better than dysfunction. It has to be better than
Right, Sharita.
these things that were in my life. And so, once the reader acknowledges that there is a challenge to overcome, then they can start working towards and finding the help that they need to overcome their problems.
Right, right, Sarita. At an early age, facing so many issues at such an early age, what was it that kept you motivated to move forward? At one point in time, you almost wanted to, end it all through whatever ways at that point in time came to your mind. But then later on, how did you motivate yourself to, to take yourself out of that situation and build a life for yourself?
Well, I I knew that I was graduating soon and I would get away from my mother because my mother was very stressful and she was the type of person that didn't care about your feelings. And she so I was like, I'll be out of here soon, and then I ended up, I turned 16, I got a car, so I was able to get away from my mother, and I actually moved out of my mom's house 3 times in high school because I was like, I'm not dealing with her, you know and so that's what kept me motivated, was to see the end of the light at the end of the road. I was like, I'm going to college. I'm getting out of here. I'm not coming back. And that's what I did. I left and went to college and I did not come back to where I'm from. And so that's why I tell people to to make a goal and find the positive in it. And then you can, and it'll motivate you to get out of it. And that's pretty much what it was.
Right, right, Sarita. All these obstacles, all these issues that you faced, how would you like to see them? What would you like to tell the audience, especially the younger lot, how to look at obstacles in their life?
Well, you'll always have obstacles in your life. So that's something that I really, that helped me realize what life was about. And then if you go through life like that, then you're always prepared to deal with the obstacles that come in your life. And then you will do what you need to do. As like if it's mental health, like for me, you will go to counseling and do what the counselors tell you to do. You will read self-help books. That's because I did that too. And you will do what your doctors tell you to do. And so I feel like that's it right there. It's just it's just, you know, accepting that life is hard. Yep. And then going out there prepared for whatever.
Right, right. There is much to learn about life, and especially from someone who has seen life from very close. So, for those people, Sarita, who would like to, learn more from you, more about you, what is the best way for them to connect with you?
I have a Facebook page. It's Shareatha author page, and then I have an Instagram page. It's GG it's GG Mind Right, and that's on Instagram. And then at Amazon, they can buy my book on Amazon.
Wonderful, wonderful. With this, it's a wrap on this very special edition of the KAJ Masterclass Live. Thank you so much indeed for joining us.
Thank you.